there.
I got this new like Whoop thing I'm trying out for the next month to try to. At least I've always with exercise and health and stuff. I always have to like gamify things. I can never just go to the gym and be like, yes, I feel good. I'm just like, no, I need numbers and stats. So I'm hoping that'll help out. But...
Dude, those things really fucking help, man.
Yeah? You got one?
I don't have that, but I have one of those like Garmin watches, and for the last like 6 months I started running. So like just
hell yeah,
being able to like beat yourself.
Dude, you're right near Trep Tower too. It's like perfect running spot.
It's great, man. Can't complain one bit.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, just do so we can sync it later. All right. Well, hey everyone. I'm here today with Chance from Heavy Heavy and VØIDWAVE. The drill is we're just gonna have a chat, we'll ask him a few questions and pretty much see what's going on with him and what's going on in the future. So nice to have you, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for the nice beer here. Nice and cold.
Yeah, no problem. Well, originally, like, we kind of met over the internet. I saw one of your shows. I was blown away by it. And then I was like, hey, dude, what do you have going on with your guitar sound there?
It's funny that like we get quite a few as like an Instagram account, you get quite a few just like cold calls of people saying, hey, let me you need a mixer, you need a mastering engineer, you need somebody to work on your Instagram and all this stuff. But like I could tell by when you were talking, you were like, oh, hey, I went and saw your show. You like called out a few things that like we were really going for, and it seemed like you really understood like our music and genuinely could help out, and so yeah, after we talked, I was like, fuck yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. So it was a good match. Cheers.
The whole code calling thing is it's a bit of a double-edged sword in a way. Like, I've obviously been in the business, I've done that a whole bunch, and it's to like varying results, but generally you get nothing, like either no response or just like a no thanks.
Yeah, it's tough too, because like underground DIY, whatever you want to call them, bands, like we're working on a tight budget, and the budget's getting tighter as time goes on. Berlin, where we're located here, is like one of the best music scenes in the world, I believe, but like it also has its fair share of problems on like how hard it is for folks to get gigs, which is the only source of income for a band. Because I was laughing because I took out Heavy Heavy's streaming proceeds for the last 5 years, and it was like $118. Which is only enough to pay for probably like mixing 1/3 of one song. And so people don't really realize how much we rely on these live shows and having the ability to get out there. And that really comes from people showing up and, supporting live music.
Yeah. Well, actually, that brings me right on to the first question that I had set out for you.
Segue, baby.
Which is... Well, you're originally from the U.S., from Seattle, right?
Yeah. Well, I was living in Seattle most recently. But
okay, cool. Well, I mean, being in a scene like that, which is like, it's a legendary scene. There's so many bands that came out of there. One, how does that influence you in making music? And two, what actually brought you to Berlin when you decided to jump the pond?
Yeah, Seattle's a really special scene. One of the things that they do that I really love is house shows, where you essentially just somebody has a living room and they push this couch aside and we just start playing until the cops show up, which is inevitable. So like headliner usually gets shafted there. But yeah, what I really liked about Seattle was like kind of the underground scene and how they adapted to a city where gentrification was really taking root. I haven't been back in a couple of years, so I haven't really seen where it's at now, but I haven't heard great things in terms of, having cool local underground spots anymore. So like I was there during a real pivotal time where they were adapting to that change. But yeah, I moved to Berlin because I was I was looking for something new. I wanted to get away from the States. I think the States is a cool place to visit. It's hard to quantitatively express what the US is, because it's like, say, like, okay, what is Europe? You know, it's so expansive and so many different cultures and things that are a part of it. But yeah, I moved over to Berlin kind of impulsively and immediately fell in love with the music scene, which is like top of the list in terms of places that I would move.
Okay. That's a pretty great answer. 'Cause I think in the end, it's always like people come to Berlin because of the music, and a lot of people don't realize, like me. And funny, when I moved, I didn't know anything about the scene here in Berlin. I knew there was a bit of a punk scene.
Yep.
But I had no idea the techno scene was such a big thing, which is ridiculous to think of, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I really fell in love with the stoner scene, with the doom scene. Like, shout out my Wookiees. Like, they were just so open and kind, and like, it was just a close scene of people that take care of each other, and that was something that, like, as an artist, I saw, and I wanted to kind of contribute whatever I could. Like, I feel like whenever I'm in those moments, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. I want to take this energy that these artists and these people that are coming to the shows and redirect it back into it to keep it going, to keep the flame going, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, Berlin's a special spot.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Well, in this topic of, you know, artists and like other artists, what are you listening to nowadays? What would be like your, I don't know, like top 3 bands you've been listening to lately?
Oh shit, I should have prepared this one. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of kind of newer stuff. Okay. That's like super popular, for sure on that side. But in terms of like local bands, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff happening. The local bands I would actually shout out is Psy Crusader. Brand new band that's coming out from some buddies of mine. They're doing some absolute face melting stuff. And the other one would be, of course I blank as soon as I start thinking about it. Fuck, it's gone.
We'll come back.
This is one of the things that I need to prepare, I guess. It's always that question, you know, when you say, like, what have you been listening to, and your mind just immediately just empties.
It's like when you have to tell a joke. It's like you hear so many jokes. There's like, I don't know any.
But yeah,
that's
I'll
okay.
think of some.
If it comes back, we'll just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Well, the other question I had related to music is you guys just released a new song with Heavy Heavy. It's called Eraser. I know part of the process because I was, you know, partially involved, but what's the background behind that song, like in the storytelling side? Because we also spoke about the cover, and there's a whole thing going on there. It's really, really cool. So I wanted to get a little bit more insight.
Yeah, man. The process for creating a Heavy Heavy song really starts with the riff. We're worshippers of the riff, for sure. And then we kind of like build it from there. And based on where the song goes in terms of its tone and its feeling, I kind of intuit the lyrics from that. And a lot of times what that will be is kind of like flow moment. I can hear what the vocal line sounds like, and it kind of sounds like gibberish, and then there's a couple of words in there, and then I'll latch on to those words, and it'll form a sentence, which will form a verse, which will form, you know, the concept for the song. Mm-hmm. So I can't, like, in that regard, I can't really take credit for like where these songs come from. They come from this, like, you know, amalgamation of all these different things that I'm currently going through or listening to. But like, and especially going through, like, Eraser was one of those songs that I felt like one of the topics that I was dealing with is kind of like repressing emotions, repressing memories, locking it up, pushing it down, right? And I liked the idea of kind of personifying that as some sort of creature, monster that's locked in the basement that has broken out. I know that sounds super fucking cheesy, but that's what I was thinking with it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And completely makes sense with the cover that you guys came up with.
Shout out AI, baby.
Right. So I guess the second to last question, because the last question is actually the conclusion of the whole thing. Sure. But this is one thing that I've been asking everyone that I've been interviewing is one like industry horror story that either you've been through, you know of someone, you know, like something that happened to someone. It could be like gig related, it could be production related, it could be like anything. Is there anything that like just jumps to mind?
Industry meaning like
just like music industry in general.
Industry, I gotcha. Yeah, so like Heavy Heavy has got a very long history of technical gear breaking at the worst possible moment. And so I feel like people kind of expect at some point during a Heavy Heavy gig, something's going to break and we're going to play some like bossa nova, like waiting room music for a little while I frantically curse at my guitar or computer to get the fucking thing working again. One of the things is actually at the show that you were at that I really loved was like, of course, every single, like, I feel like the number of shows that I've had a string break outnumbers the shows that I haven't had a string break. But what I really liked about that show is like, okay, the bottom note of the bass like that string broke, which is the worst one because every bassist knows is like and bass strings are so expensive. But I was like, shit, do we have a bass guitar in the building somewhere? And our buddies from Zeit Driver actually grabbed their bass guitar out from the back of the stage, and I just saw an orange Fender bass guitar just crowd surfing up to the crowd. I plugged it in and we kicked right back off, and it was just, I loved that. That was just, you know, it was an industry horror thing, but it also shows us like it, you know, the crowd really makes or breaks the show.
Yeah, I mean, on that show, you guys like dealt with that like geniuses, because it was really, really cool. Like it was very entertaining, just like the way you were chatting with people and like making jokes while like tuning up this new bass. Sick bass, by the way. Like shout out to I don't know,
Zeit Driver. Those guys are the best. They've got a lot of new music out, which is also what I've been listening to. So definitely go check them out. Yeah. But I think the reason that it seems like we're comfortable with that is because it happens so fucking often.
Oh, fair enough.
This makes perfect.
Well, it's like what, 10,000 hours?
Yeah, 10,000 strings breaking. Exactly.
Cool, dude. Well, I guess to close out, you guys announced, I think last week, that Heavy Heavy, after this last batch of songs, is going on a bit of a hiatus. What can we expect from you going forward? I know you have your other project, VØIDWAVE, but what's in the horizon for you, buddy?
Yeah, Horizon. So we've got one more song coming out that I'm particularly happy with. We've got, for the few folks close to us that have worked on it, they're also very excited. It's called Fugue. And
Fugue, not fungi.
Yeah, not fungue, but fugue, like as in fugue state. So that one will be coming out next, and you know, hopefully a music video, hopefully some cool stuff to look at while you're listening to it. And then for me personally, like I'm kind of going hermit life and living out on a farm right now, and kind of getting back in touch with some of the things that I've not had time for. But once I've finished my journey to the West, I think, VØIDWAVE is going to be getting a lot more new songs. We've got like a backlog of a ton of stuff that hasn't been released. And yeah, in terms of Heavy Heavy, like in one form or another, it'll be back in some way.
Okay. That's great to hear. Well, I think this makes it for today. I'll obviously link everything below to their socials, to VØIDWAVE's stuff, any other links that Chance might give me. But yeah, man, thanks for coming over and having this chat.
Yeah.
It's good to
you killed
almost
the mix.
hang out fucking face to face, because we never do that.
Yeah, you killed the mix on our songs. We're super happy, and we it's one of the few times that we felt that what we had in our head for those songs is actually what you hear on Spotify. So go check it out.
Sweet. I mean, that makes me happy. Cheers, man.